Alright, in this video I'll give you my thoughts about this news article which is taken from news.com.au. A comedian punched in the face for making disgusting comments about a 3-month-old baby. One of my members in my WhatsApp group asked me what do I think about this, and he also asked me like what would be your reaction if suppose you took your daughter who's 5-year-old to the let's say comedy club. And one of the key reasons why he asked me is because I post a lot of videos and I have opposing comments, especially in relation to India, politics, and the bad news that goes on from rape to corruption. There are people who disagree with me, but then the majority of people who don't deserve an internet or a smartphone, they start commenting about my wife, and they don't even spare my daughter. I've given you one of the couple of shocking examples is where this guy, true profile on video, calls me and starts sexualizing my daughter, how much for this and that, and as disgusting as it gets, which I reported to the law enforcement agencies in India, and well, after that finished, he vanished. Okay, so I've had experience like this. So the question was, how would I react? Now I've taken down my notes. First, I'll give you the summary in case you do not know what's happening. It's just a summary. A Spanish comedian, his name is Jaime Caravaca, okay, Jaime Caravaca, whatever, who was punched by an audience member whose name is Alberto Gonzalo de Juan or whatever, when he was performing in Barcelona. Now, it doesn't look like a very high-end comedian, or it doesn't look like a happening joint. It seems it was happening in a dead part of the week, a Tuesday or something. Very few people, 2 or 3 people in a club. It was a very dark, dingy club. Okay, so he is not very famous, he's not very happening, and given the fact that he was totally out of shape, he was fat, he was like a blob, I guess he's one of those guys who's really trying to make something out of his life. He can't work maybe a normal job. That's my analysis. So he makes his life making fun of others, which he can't do otherwise in real life, so he does it as a comedy. This is the psychology behind most comedians. They share tragic stuff, or they share the hatred that they have into making people laugh. So the problem occurred when this guy, Jaime Caravaca, made an inappropriate joke about Alberto's 3-month-old son, saying that he might be gay and making lewd comments. Over here, my thought is, one is, how did he know that he had a son? Or are they friends from before? Or was he aware? Or did he bring the child over there? It seems that this I'm not too clear. It seems that there was a photograph or something of the baby drinking the mother's milk. So you're saying from sucking the mother's milk on her breast, that child will be sucking on the genitalia of the same sex, the same member. Okay. So audience reaction, Alberto, he confronted this comedian on stage. He demanded that, he repeated the comment, getting more and more angry. I saw the video, finally trying to punch him. Okay. Then Alberto punched and slapped this comedian before leaving the stage. Police were called, no arrests were made. Now the background. Now this is the part you need to understand. Alberto Gonzalo de Juan, known as Ugi Lato, he has a history of controversy, including hate crimes. So he has had a bad record. Jaime Caravaca, okay, this comedian is known for making controversial lewd comments. The comedian apologized on social media and admitted it was inappropriate. He must have taken a spur of the moment thing. Alberto accepted the apology, but said that it's important to protect children and defend. And he was also defending the freedom of speech, but he also defended the right to respond. Now, what do I think about this? See, first, this is my initial thought, okay? Now, here's a simple thing. Very, very simple thing. You asked me if I had taken my kid over there, how would I react? Now, there are obviously jokes which are funny, jokes which are not funny, and given this guy is struggling to make a living, obviously he would bomb. He would say things which are inappropriate. I also tried my hand at humor. This actually happened in Toastmasters when my mentor, who is Emirati Muslim, very pious, he likes to encourage me. So I tried a speech project which was humor. And when we are talking, I was bombing right from the beginning. I was bombing. And then I just thought and I said, like when Muslims pray, something I said, and they will look up and do like this, something like that I said, and it was very inappropriate. I went impulsive. I saw my mentor, he was smiling all throughout, trying to encourage me, but when I said this, he stopped smiling. This is when I was in my, I think, early 20s, okay, maybe 25, 26, late 20s, okay. So he was smiling all throughout and encouraging me, but when I said this about Allah, and I didn't say Allah, I said Muslim prayer, his smile, he just stopped. And I had I still have a lot of respect and fear, and, my blood drained. I was like, oh, sheesh, I'm in trouble. After the speech got over, I apologized. He said, no, it's totally fine. You try to make a joke. It was maybe not appropriate. You work on it. He was not angry, but he didn't smile. So I'm aware of bombing on stage. I've done humor wherever I have done speeches or done shows, and there are times you do bomb, and sometimes at the spur of the moment we say things which we sometimes may regret. Now over here, if I were to take my daughter and someone said something sexual about my daughter, what if she starts sucking on something? Now it is inappropriate. Okay, it is inappropriate. I'm not saying it is not. Now the question is, how will I respond? There are a couple of ways. Either I stand up and say, that is not appropriate, what the fuck are you doing? And, shout at him. I can do that. Or I can burst up on stage and do the same thing like he did and confront the guy. Or I can lift my hand and try to fight, and, people scuffle and, they break up the scuffle. Or I can call the police. Okay. There are different options I can do. So the question comes, what is the choice of action I've taken? Now, majority of you who are filled with testosterone, who are young, who are bubbling with this manly, macho testosterone would say, I would fuck him, man, I would kill him, and motherfucker, there's that. Okay. What if the comedian has a gun? Okay. First question. Will you still take a risk? If he has a gun. What if he's a gang member? What if he's associated with very dangerous people? It's very easy to say, I'll still fuck him. Watch some Mexican execution videos. I have a WhatsApp group which they send very graphic images from skinning a person alive, skinning, to chopping, cutting. You can't bear to watch it. And I can tell you this, those who have seen those videos, real, they are not fake. You wouldn't have guts. I wouldn't. The members who have seen, they wouldn't. Nobody had. The person's alive. They're actually mutilating the person when he's alive. So, if he has a gun, would you? If he was related to a gang member, would you? If he could destroy your life, let's say he's some sick psycho, you hit him, he waits for you to go home, he might set your car on fire when you're sleeping, set your house, would you take a risk? Or, there have been incidents where people have fought. This actually happened in Samui, happened on this island. Guy was driving a Porsche, very rich multimillionaire. He was driving a car. This guy, Thai person, with his family, I don't know, he was maybe tailgating him. It happened on the way to go to Tesco, Central, which is shopping mall. He stopped in the middle of the road, at this side. No, sorry, he stopped almost in the middle. This guy was tailgating him. He got out, and maybe because he was a Muay Thai fighter, or he lifted his hand. This guy came. Both the men came. And the foreigner gave him a 1, 2, 3, 4 combo. He hit him on the head. And he fell down. And after he got knocked out, he went off. What he didn't know was this guy ended up in a coma. Okay? And he was fighting life and death. The cops, through his story, this you can search. The cops went and found him, and he was put in jail. And Thai jails are some of the worst. They are the scariest place you'd never want to be. It's not like the Bangkok Hilton. You can search this one. But They put you in a small area. Toilet is there. Whatever you have to do it there. I think he was there for a month or something. Finally, he paid a big sum of money. And so the question, was it worth it? I will say, oh, but here he was insulting. Okay. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Was it appropriate to insult his wife? You'll say, no, that is his wife, not his kid. Okay, where are the rules for appropriate and inappropriate? Kid is okay, wife is not okay, or wife is okay, kid is not okay, or kid and wife is not okay. And then kid, wife and you may be not okay, or God, is it okay? Oh no, God is not okay. So who draws these rules? Which rules can all of us agree on? Or do we say that if you're going for a comedy club, there is a possibility you can get offended. And how you respond to it should be, taken into consideration. Is taking the law in your hands appropriate? Because if both of them were to go to jail or taken to court, the comedian will not be put to jail because he didn't raise his hand. He said words. They say, words don't mean anything, whatever. But words do mean for some people, yeah. Do I feel sometimes? Majority of the time I don't. I've been insulted, humiliated, criticized from childhood. So I have slightly a thicker skin than most. But there are sometimes words which kind of do get to me. But how do you respond? Physical violence? Or do you report to the police? What if they don't do anything? Do you take revenge? And where do you draw the line? Now, here's another question. The guy is going to a comedy club where people are drinking alcohol and everyone's drinking. Is it appropriate to take a 3-month-old child there? Is it appropriate to take a child where smoking, drinking is there? I don't know if he took the kid over there, okay? But then when you go to a comedy club, what do you expect? Everything to be happy? And this guy is known for his hate, so-called crimes. I'll tell you me. I don't know about you. I'll tell you me. I'll tell you what I would have done. You tell me what you would have done. This is what I would have done. If I took my kid, let's say he sexually says, oh, I would like to this thing to your kid. Or your kid is waiting for her to. I wouldn't like the joke. The options, mostly, I would either walk away, putting it on social media, there would be a lot of food fights. Maybe I would have had a discussion whether it was appropriate in a polite manner. I would not be friendly with him, but I would let him know that that was not appropriate. Would I involve the police? No. Would I go to that place again? No. Then obviously you'll say, Loy, what about those people who are insulting online? No, they are not comedians. That is not comedy. That is an exchange. And there is a price to pay if you're not doing comedy, but you're insulting a person's wife and children. And that is why people normally do it hiding behind a wall of anonymity. Here, the comedian showed his true identity. Okay. So I would have approached it that way. Either walk away, put it on, discuss on social media. And yes, inform that guy it was not appropriate, inform the manager, and maybe boycott that place and tell others you shouldn't go with your children. Would I file a police case? No. I would never raise my hand because it can only escalate. And like I told you, what if he has a gun? What if he has a knife? What if he has a gang? What if I'm stronger than him and I hit him and he dies? Am I ready to spend the next 30 years of my life in jail? Bravado is good. Courage is good. Standing up for your family is good. But you need to evaluate the risks and rewards. And remember, if you think about offensive stuff, jokes, we have people cutting and chopping people's heads. Mostly Muslims do that when they draw a cartoon of their prophet. In India, they'll set a Hindu, will set this thing on fire or file an FIR or if you insult their gods. And in some cases, they even violently kill, beat Muslims who transport beef, which they consider God. Christians, I think they are kind of laid back. They don't give a fuck about their religion. But there are some psychos, like in Australia, New Zealand, who opened fire to peaceful Muslims. So, is that justifiable? for a celestial creature, for a person you have never met, a god, would you say yes or no? Yes, people do get offended. Yes. Yes, free speech can hurt. Should free speech have its limits? Yes, you should not incite violence. You should not, there are certain lines that should not be crossed. But where you don't incite violence and where you talk sexually about a child, or, oh, I would like to do this to her, put my this and that, there should be a price to pay. You should be held accountable for what you say. That is why companies and corporates, if you put something inappropriate online social media, there's a price to pay. And let's say people are taking vaccine and you start spreading with fake evidence or fake claims that vaccine is going to kill. And in USA, people stopped taking a vaccine for measles and chickenpox and all, and there were deaths. So there you have to be held accountable. So you have to follow the law. That's what I'm saying. You have to follow the law, not take the law in your hands. Because if you take the law in your hands, where do you stop? Where do you draw the line? And if you're going to a comedy club where people do get offended, be ready to be offended. But verbal. Don't start taking physical. I'm totally against physical because I've seen what can happen when you least expect. Electricity is acting funny. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You agree, disagree? Feel free. And I definitely will be reading your comments. And you let me know. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I would love to hear your point of view. Good, bad, ugly, feel free. Let me know your thoughts. This is me signing off. You guys take care.